Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back to this week's hashtag Spill the Beans. If you've never seen me before, I'm Tara Parlo. I'm your resident white-facing, biracial, multi-passionate musician, and I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same. Spill the Beans is a once-a-week chat where we talk about everything under the sun, from music to activism and right back again. Lately, it's been activism heavy, but such is life because art influences life, and life influences our art. Today, we're going to talk about something that I've talked about before and is related to push the damn button, but starting before you're a finished product, or sharing before you are a finished product. So grab your drink and come on back. Let's get started. And hydrate. If you are a human, hydrate. If you're an alien watching this, I don't know how water works for you. Anyway, so I was talking in my last Spill the Beans, which is available on all of my feeds, including YouTube. I'm filming this on Instagram. I might jump around again, but I like the filters better on Instagram. And I like to have these conversations with people that are closer to me. Like, I kind of know most of the people that follow me, or at least I have interfaced with them at some point. But before I jump in, actually, let me take a step back. Before I jump in, I usually share events. I don't have events. I am going to be coming back to the studio in August, like full time, but there's something that's going to be starting in September that you may be interested in. But right now, I'm offering async lessons. I have room for about 10 more people to join into that. It's $25 a lesson. If you need a payment plan for that, like let's say you can only afford $5 a week, then let's do $5 a week. Async lessons are explained on my feed. And then I also am working in Telegram. There's going to be a 10-day warm-up challenge coming at you live each morning, audio clips. And then I'm going to do a live video with Q&A at the end of that. And we'll see how that goes over on Telegram. I'm also building a special space that used to be my Slack channel, but I'm building more into that. And I think a Substack is coming. So y'all just stay tuned for all the things. The conversation must happen. And this is the conversation we're going to have today, is trusting yourself enough to start before you're ready. This morning in Daily Boost, with Love and Action Network, I was chatting about how we must trust ourselves. Because that's the first step to everything, is trust ourselves enough to make a mistake. And I've been thinking a lot lately about how people don't speak out, or people don't publicly sing or publicly play or publicly make their art. And a lot of that is because we feel like someone is going to say something that is going to severely affect us. And what I have learned over the last 20 years of being in this business and doing a lot of DEI work, especially in the last 10, is that really people are going to say things, but it's really more of a reflection of them than it is on you. And so you should start, we don't should on ourselves. You could start sharing before you feel ready, and push that damn button, right? Before everything gets like all worked out, before all the pins and cues are in. And that is what I'm doing with my upcoming album. I don't have a date yet. I had a baby. I was heavily pregnant. I need to re-record some things, and I have to get it mixed and mastered. And then I will release it. I got to come up with like a title and everything. But anyway, it is music by all Black women composers. And I'm really excited to release that one. And mostly living composers, actually. It's a feature on Rose Finney Powell, really is truly what it is. So I'm very excited about that. If you want to support that, you can go to tarapriolo.bandcamp.com and you can purchase my first album, Soliloquy, or you can just share the posts, or you can come over and listen to the raw files, which is what I'm going to talk about now. So instead of waiting until this album is fully finished, I'm sharing the raw files of each piece, not all of them, but some of them. There's 3 in there right now for some people, whoever wants to join, to vote on which one I get mixed and mastered, and will end up on the album. And that is something that people don't share. That is something that people don't show. Most of the time that's in back rooms. And so starting before you're ready, right? You don't have to have a finished idea. Maybe you're just learning a phrase of a song. Maybe you're doing a new paint stroke. But you are somewhere where someone else wants to be. And I was talking with someone yesterday, and they were saying how much they appreciated that I grow in public, that I ask the hard questions of myself and other people, that I allow people to see me as I'm radicalizing, as I'm growing, as I'm changing, as I'm doing new things. And I think that more of us could do that, right? I think we see that in our students, those of us that are teachers, we see their growth process, but sometimes we don't allow them to see ours. And I'm really committed to bringing that to public spaces. But even if you're not willing to bring it to a public space, perhaps you could bring it to a close circle of people. Perhaps you could have incubators and experimentation. And what does that look like? How is that a safe space with harm accountability? And trusted feedback, right? You have to trust yourself before you can trust others. So you do have to work, right? It's an inside job. Everything's an inside job. But how do we work in that premise rather than here's my fanciful finished product thing? Engage with it, right? Maybe people would engage more with us if we weren't presenting final products all the time. Maybe. Who knows? Let me know what you think about that, and think about like what scares you about starting before you feel ready, about pushing the damn button, about kind of taking a leap or a risk before you sense that it is time to, right? We'll talk a little bit more about that in terms of the breath, because I had a teacher once that told me something very fascinating. And I feel like this, now that I'm thinking about it, has influenced like the way that I view everything. Because I do believe that the voice begins in the breath. And by the voice, I mean everything, right? The way that we take a breath in, the way that we intake information, the way that we process information is very much reflected in the way then we use the breath coming out of our mouth to produce the voice, right? So we'll talk about that sometime, because that is a bang up topic, and I don't know where that's going to happen. I don't know if that'll be on a public platform, Spill the Beans. I don't know if it'll be on Riff. I don't know if it'll be on blog. It'll be somewhere, but y'all just got to be following. With that said, continue to be anti-racist, be safe, wear a mask, do good work, make good trouble, ceasefire now in our hearts and in our minds, and the world over. I love y'all hardcore, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.